fiance spent 1 week in Albania, and our first destination was the capital city, Tirana, a city full of color, history, good food, and energy. Hello everyone, my name is Janika and welcome to this video. I'm sorry if it is loud, even if I'm using a microphone. I'm currently in a restaurant and it is very very and loud, but we have just arrived to the capital city of Albania, Tirana. We this morning took a bus early in the morning from Ohrid, North Macedonia. We've come for some brunch/lunch because we haven't really eaten anything yet today, and it's a really nice looking spot, a little bit more bougie here by the main square of the city, so looks really nice. Something that surprised me a bit about Tirana was how modern it felt. There are lots of big, newly built buildings everywhere, blending contemporary architecture with the city's historic charm. You can find sleek shopping centers, trendy cafes, and areas that give the city a young, energetic vibe. It's a side of Albania I wasn't expecting, and it really shows how fast Tirana is growing and changing. Checked into our hotel and it seems really nice. This is definitely the nicest hotel of our trip so far, and I hadn't even realized that we had booked the deluxe room, so not even like a standard room, so it's huge. Also, it looks really nice from the downstairs. We've got breakfast included, there's a rooftop pool, apparently also a rooftop bar and restaurant. There was a bar also downstairs, and I like the slightly vintage vibe that they've got going on here, so super nice. It is a little bit further away from the city center. We had to walk for maybe 20-25 minutes. Now we're honestly gonna relax for a little bit, enjoy the air conditioning because it's actually a really hot day today, and then I'm hoping that we're gonna go and check out the swimming pool here soon. Okay, we've changed all our swimsuits and now it's time to head upstairs and check out the swimming pool. Also, don't mind the horrible lightning that's making me look a bit scary. Tirana became Albania's capital in 1920, but its history goes back much further. It started as a small Ottoman settlement in the early 1600s, founded by Suleiman Pasha, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who built a mosque, a bakery, and a hammam that formed the city's center. Under Ottoman rule, Tirana grew slowly, then expanded rapidly in the 20th century, especially after becoming the capital. During the communist era, it was transformed with the stark architecture and wide boulevards. After communism fell, Tirana changed dramatically, becoming a lively, colorful city. We've come for some dinner to a restaurant that seems to be extremely popular. We were the last people to get a table without a reservation, and now they even put a sign outside saying it's fully booked for the night or like until 9 p.m. or something. But no wonder, there's live music here and it's very atmospheric, and hopefully the food is also good. So yeah, it's supposed to be very traditional Albanian food that they serve here. My fiance ordered some liver and I ordered some meatballs, so looking forward to trying it out soon. So hungry. I ordered meatballs, but they're very flat. That's good. Wow. Good morning. I slept pretty well. The only thing I would say is that I wish we would have had like a proper blanket. They only gave us like a sheet for a blanket because I guess it's, it's a hot country, of course. But with the air conditioning, it was like impossible to get it at a good temperature because of that. It was either too cold or too hot, and I ended up adjusting it like a million times during the night. But I did sleep pretty well nevertheless. We also got to start this morning by having a glorious breakfast that is included in our stay. Now, today we have a full day here in Tirana to explore. I have quite a few places that I want to hit up, so to say, and check out. So I'm excited for a day of exploring. We've just finished our visit to the House of Leaves, which is a history museum about the surveillance state in Albania post-World War II. This house itself used to be an interrogation center that was used for torture and other coercive tactics. Unfortunately, for the most part, you are not allowed to take any pictures or film, but it is definitely a very interesting visit, especially if you're someone interested in learning more about the Albanian history. However, the only con, it does get very hot and humid in there on a summer day like today, as there's no air conditioning or whatsoever. But I did very much enjoy the visit. Tirana is known for its religious harmony. You'll find mosques, churches, and even a new Orthodox cathedral, all within the city center. Most Albanians identify as Muslim, but the country is very secular and people of different religions live peacefully side by side. In fact, Albanians often say that religion for them is Albanianism, meaning that national identity comes first. Not sure why, but they have a bunch of old, really cool looking cars here. We have now come to like another museum known as the Bunk to Art. The entrance is somewhere over there. But yeah, I came across these cars, so I gotta admire these for a second before heading into the museum. Very cool. Next, we visited Bunk R2, a Cold War era bunker turned into a museum right in the heart of Tirana. Walking through this place's underground tunnels felt like stepping back in time, with exhibits showing what life was like during Albania's communist period. It's eerie, fascinating, and such a unique way to learn about the country's history. If you have the time, there's actually also another Bunk Art 1 museum located a bit outside of the center next to the cable cars. If I'd had more time in Tirana, I would have definitely jumped on a bus and checked out these two spots as well. That bunk art place was quite cool and interesting. Unfortunately, it was just way too busy, which made it a little bit less enjoyable. Would be maybe a good idea to limit the amount of tickets they sell, or probably if you would come on a weekday, it wouldn't be as bad. Today is a Sunday, so it was packed. We have now come to the old fortress walls of Kalaja e Tiranes. Once part of the city's defense during the Ottoman era, today its inside has been transformed into a lively spot full of cafes, restaurants, and little shops. However, it did seem like these spots were a little bit more on the pricey side. Well, we were just at this cafe because it is quite a hot day, so we wanted to get some cold refreshments and cool down a little bit in the AC. Unfortunately, it was not a very friendly experience that we had there. So far, everyone in Albania has been super friendly, no complaints, but the two ladies working at this cafe, can't say the same. I saw that they were arguing with lots of customers, including me, even though I was trying to be friendly with them. It was not a very pleasant experience, let's just say that. But we are now by the pyramid of Tirana. We're gonna climb up these stairs in this heat, and then we're probably gonna try and find another cafe instead to redeem this experience and have a more pleasant one instead. Hopefully. This is one of the unique landmarks in Tirana, originally built in 1988 as a museum dedicated to Albania's communist leader Enver Hoxha. Today it's been renovated into a modern cultural hub, and from the top of it you can see a beautiful view over the city. Oh, here, drinks. We now came to a bit more of a fancy place. That's a bit more expensive, but it's really, really beautiful, and there's air conditioning. I ordered myself a smoothie. I need some refreshment. Somehow, like, the heat here feels much worse than what it was in Skopje, for example. Even if the temperatures were relatively the same, it's much more humid in Tirana. So yeah, I feel like I'm melting away. We are gonna go out for some dinner, and we're gonna go to a neighborhood where we haven't been yet. It's supposedly a bit more of a trendy area, and it has lots of great restaurants, cafes and bars. So we're gonna go there and try out one of the food spots that they have there, and also just see the vibe of that neighborhood. So this neighborhood was once a restricted area during communist times where only the party elite could live, and ordinary citizens weren't even allowed to enter. However, today it's the trendiest neighborhood in Tirana, full of cafes, restaurants, bars and boutiques, making it the heart of the city's nightlife and modern vibe. We were originally planning on going to an Albanian restaurant, and we already went there, but the line for that restaurant was so long and we're quite hungry, so we had to come up with a plan B, and we came to an Italian restaurant instead. I know, I'm sorry, but we have almost a full week still ahead of us to eat Albanian food, so don't worry. And they do seem to have some Albanian dishes here too, but what they especially seem to have is a very extensive menu of pasta. And if I'm completely honest, I've been craving pasta now for several days, so I think I might get some pasta or something, but wow, there's so many options. I don't know how to choose what I want. We have come for another hotel breakfast. It was really good yesterday, so I'm super excited. And today we are actually taking the bus from Tirana to a place called Saranda, which is a city by the sea in the south of Albania. We're gonna be spending the next, I think, 5 or 6 nights there, something like that. So super excited. have now arrived to Saranda. The way here was a little bit stressful though. Basically, we left like almost an hour before the bus would leave, and I had checked online that, you know, taking a taxi from our hotel to the bus station would take around 10 to 15 minutes. What we didn't realize was that the traffic was absolutely insane. First of all, it was super hard to get a taxi. We first tried to have the hotel call one for us, but they said it would take super long for them to even arrive. Then we tried to get one on the street. Eventually, we were successful, and then we got completely stuck in the traffic jam. On our way to the bus station, we had already completely given up hope, and we were like, yeah, there's no way that we're gonna make the bus on time. But then we arrived at the bus station literally 3 minutes before the bus was leaving, which was absolutely crazy. Taxi actually drove us right to exactly the point where the bus was leaving from, and we were able to get on the bus. Although it was a little bit chaotic on the bus because they have given everyone like seat numbers, but then we got a seat number that didn't even exist, and people had the same seat numbers and all that. And last minute they decided to change the bus to a slightly bigger one because they had oversold the tickets, and I don't know, it was just very chaotic. That was really lucky because we had already paid for the ticket, and the next bus wouldn't have left until 3 hours later, and there was like nothing there at that station, so it would have been a very long and boring 3-hour wait. The bus journey itself took around 5-ish hours, but we were able to make it now to Saranda, and we have checked into our hotel, which seems really nice. We actually got really lucky and we were given a free room upgrade. They told us because of a last minute cancellation, they've given us a free upgrade, which was super nice. So with this upgrade, we now also have a balcony in this room, and from the balcony you have like a side view towards the sea, which is really nice. And I really like the style of this room and hotel in general. It's a bit like minimalistic, very like aesthetically pleasing looking, a very clean look. I think today we're gonna take a relaxing day. I would love to do a bit of a tour of this hotel and see the beach and the 2 different pools and stuff, and then also probably take a dip. But yeah, we need to decide, do we want to try one of the pools or do we want to go to the beach? Or yeah, there are options. So it feels really nice and a little bit luxurious, so that's very nice. To be fair, it is already 4 p.m, so most of the day went to traveling, but luckily we were able to make that bus because otherwise we would have been here much later. So yeah, a crazy start to the day, but a very nice ending to it with a free room upgrade, so can't complain. If you want to see the rest of the hotel tour and what we get up to when exploring the country's Albanian Riviera, then remember to subscribe and tune in for the following video. This one I'm gonna end now here, so thank you so much for joining me to Tirana, and I'll see you guys again on my next adventure. Bye bye!